Where are you guys going? The guy who produced Jared and Jensen, I mean Sam Erdine with his sex is right here. Without this guy, there is no them. That's true. So, I think you killed it last night, by the way. Photo ops. They are all apologizing profusely. That's okay, I like a more intimate setting when I talk to you guys. It's true. But I do feel sorry. I do feel a little bit sorry for the people that are left. Because you guys are going to get some real individual Matt Cohen attention. That's right. So actually, I don't feel sorry for you at all. You are the smart ones. You tell these stories to your grandchildren. No pressure. I'm not sure what he's talking about, but you're welcome in advance. I will do my best. I'm going to turn this fan on high to slow my sweating down now. Yeah, buddy. Guys, round of applause for these fellas here. Have fun today, guys. Have a good time. Well. Can we bring up the house lights? I need to look at these people. Raise your hand if you came to karaoke last night. Good. Do we have fun? Yeah. Is anybody else tired besides me? Yeah. All right, good. Well, this panel is going to be very important because you guys are going to come up with questions right now, and then you're going to walk to the side and you're going to ask me questions, and then I'm going to answer you with probably not the answer you were looking for, okay? I nailed it. I'm super happy about that picture. Hey guys in the back, you all right? Everybody wake back there? I love that. They're like, yeah, we're building cues here. Should we start with a game? Should we spin the spinny thing? Should we get some of that going? Right? Here we go. Let's see what happens. Are we ready? Are we queued up on the music? We're right back at the circus, ladies and gentlemen. Right back at the circus. I really hope I don't have to drink any of this. Sing or dance? Sing or dance? Sing? It sounds like you're all saying Sans. Has anybody seen Moana? Not enough of you for me to sing that song, because then the rest of you are going to look at me and I only know one line of it. Ready? It goes, I've been standing at the edge of the water long as I can remember. That's all I know. If you haven't seen Moana, see it. I think it's the best Disney movie ever. I want to be that girl so bad. How about this? Young lady over here is going to ask a lovely question, and then I will give a mediocre answer. Go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Marie.
Hi.
And yesterday you said something about a book called Fangasm, where you write something.
Sure.
And I wanted to ask if you have ever considered writing a whole book, maybe with the title #you, because I love your Instagram account and I think you're an amazing person, what you say on stage and everything.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, those of you who don't know, I wrote a chapter in this book, the Fangasm book. Family Don't End With Blood, and you should check it out. I signed a bunch of them yesterday. That was my first time actually even seeing the book in person. I haven't even had a copy, but yeah, I've thought about writing a book. I just haven't come to a conclusion of how or what I want to say in it. I think I wrote a 100-page inspirational book already, but it wasn't good enough, so I won't put it out, type of thing. And so I'm waiting for the idea that feels right, the idea that's going to help people and help pay positivity forward. I just have to figure out how to make it perfect before I release it.
I would buy it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm sure sooner or later I'll write a book. It might be a green room tell-all supernatural convention book. And which I'll have no friends after I write all the secrets and share them with you. Thank you so much for your question.
Thank you.
Hi, step right up to the microphone. Oh wait, we're gonna go to this side. Look, we have a person. Hi, friend, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Well, I'm a little hungover.
Yeah. Not me? I feel great.
Oh, that's good.
I'm just kidding. I'm literally sweating from walking right now. So.
I feel better now. So.
Good. What's your question?
I had much fun at the karaoke list yesterday.
Good.
I was wondering, what's your favorite song to sing karaoke to?
Wow. Favorite song? I mean, there's so many good ones. I thought the way we did karaoke last night was the best way we've ever done it, because we were able to pick the songs that we loved and force you guys to kind of sing them with us, which was nice, rather than you guys pick the songs, which I have no problem with, but occasionally you get one of those real slow songs and it kind of slows down the mood a little bit, and we like to keep it cranked up. But if I had to pick one song, I would have to go with the theme song from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, because it's short and it doesn't take a lot of vocal talent, and he pretty much just talk raps through the whole thing. So does everybody know the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, right? He's a worldwide phenomenon. I did it? Oh, Tom did it. Great. So you know exactly what I'm talking about. What's your favorite karaoke song to sing?
I don't know.
What's your favorite karaoke song to not sing? What's your favorite song? Do you like music?
I
What was it?
do. I do like music.
What's your favorite song?
I don't think I have one.
I'm gonna go ahead and say your favorite song is Carry On My Wayward Son, followed by Eye of the Tiger. Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
How's it
Karaoke
going?
was so much fun last
Yeah,
night.
hell yeah, it was.
I wanted to ask you how Mac is doing and if you have any stories.
Oh my God, so many stories. Those of you who don't know, I have a 2-year-old son. He just turned 2 last April, and he is a little ball of sunshine and a complete little monster. He runs around my house destroying things. I'm gonna share one of those special fatherly stories with you guys that, I guess, raise your hand, anybody, any parents here, anybody with children? So you guys will be able to relate to this. The rest of you will think I'm just disgusting. So the other day I put him down and he's taking a nap, and I have like a little baby monitor above his crib so I can see, you know, when he wakes up I can run in and grab him. So he wakes up, he usually sleeps for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. He wakes up like 30 minutes into his nap and he's like making a face, and I don't have sound on the thing, it's just video. So I see him and he's like, and he's holding his hand right like by his face, and he's like, it looks like he's looking at his hand, but he's laying sideways, you know, in the crib, and so my view is just this, and he's like, this is what I see, and he's just like, and like I can't tell if he's crying or not. So finally I'm like, all right, I'll give him a couple minutes, maybe he's going back to sleep. So he like opens his hand, and he like, it looks like he goes to like wipe his face or itch his eye or something, and he goes, and I'm like, what is going on? I run upstairs, and he sits up in his crib as soon as I open the door, and he's sitting there and he's looking at me and he goes, Dada, poop! Poop! And I'm like, what happened? There's poop? Do you have poo-poo in your diaper? Did you poo-poo in your diaper? He looks at me with the saddest face and he goes, Dada, poop! Hand, poop hand. He must have at some point checked to see if he went poo-poo in his diaper, so his fingertip was covered in poop. I know it sounds like, for those of you who don't have children, it's like the weirdest thing to hear, but it's like the most sad and most beautiful moment ever, because you just can see the innocence of a child in that moment. Like, he doesn't want to go poo-poo in his diaper. He had to. He couldn't believe he did it, so he checked it. And then it was on his hand, and he just wanted to go back to sleep, but it smelled gross, so he couldn't. And he was just like, Dada, poop, hand, and it was just like, it's one of those moments. Like, it's like that. Those are the memories of the best part about being a parent, and also, you know, the other part of being a parent. But you carry that with you, you know, like when I leave my family and I get in the car, I go to the airport, and I'm emotional every single time I drive away from them. I hate being more than 10 feet from my wife and child. And then you get on the plane and you smile to yourself as you're falling asleep because you think of those stories, and those stories always keep you running back to your family. It's the poop on the hand that always brings you home. Anyways, thank you for your question.
Thank you.
There's no better way to start a Saturday off than a good old poop story, you know? She likes it a lot. Hi, how are you doing?
Hi,
I think we're really going to draw out your question for like 30 minutes because you're the last person standing up.
Oh my God.
How are you and what is your lovely question?
I'm fine, and you? And first of all, I'm so happy to see you again this year.
Me too, I'm happy to see me again.
Thank you, you remember me.
I don't remember you, but I wish I did. I barely remember me on most days.
Thank you. I wanted to ask if you did have fun to play in How to Get Away with Murder,
Yes.
with the great, really great Viola Davis. And the fact, I was really sad that you had a few episodes because you went in jail. That's so sad for me, and I was hoping to see your character again, and oops.
Me too. Look, I was falsely framed. Those of you who don't know, I did a couple episodes of How to Get Away with Murder, and it was awesome working with such a unique group of kids. They're so smart, those guys over there, and Viola obviously speaks for herself. She's who I want to be when I grow up, you know? She's just so talented and so beautiful and so sexy. She's such a strong, powerful woman. I should have been brought back to that show, right? Like, I was framed with drugs in my trunk. I was an innocent boy, and now I'm in jail in Georgia. But the problem is, I'm on another ABC show. I'm doing General Hospital, and so that's also an ABC produced show, so they're not pulling me from one show to put me on their other show. But maybe if you call the executive producer, perhaps, just tell them I'm willing and ready whenever they want me. I hope too. It's a great show to be on. It's a really a cool way they tell those stories. You know, when you typically hear like it's a lawyer show, you know, they can get boring. But that show is the furthest from boring. It's really great. I'd love to go back. Not as bad as I'd like to go back to season 13 of Supernatural, but you know, I'll take what I can get. They're both spectacular shows, full of great people. You know. Thank you for your question.
Thank you very much to you.
Of course. Hi there.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Do you want to come up here and drink some of this apple juice?
I can't.
Good.
I'm taking medication, so I'm not allowed.
Smart woman. That is. I'm going to use that same excuse later when Jared and Jensen
It's
try
not
to
an
make me
excuse,
do it.
unfortunately. Wait till I get off that medication.
I am just kidding. How are you? What's your question?
I was wondering if you could write one quality or skill on Jared, Jensen's, and Misha's resume. What would it be?
Wow. Way to put me on the spot. That is a good question. If I had one skill, I mean, the obvious answer is charisma on all three behalves.
True.
You don't become really successful kind of on the level that they've all gained success without charisma in the town of Hollywood. You know, you have to be a people person, you have to be able to adapt to all people, and I think those three men exude charisma, as well as so many other things. I think family would be another trait I would put on their resume, and to mean it in so many different ways, the way they kind of treat the crew and the guest cast that come onto that show, and the way they perceive you guys and you guys perceive them. I think, you know, family's a big one, and compassion. Compassion is another one. You know, you either have a heart and you use it, or you have a heart and you don't, you know, and you make excuses not to use it. And those boys consistently use their heart and they act with their heart, and I think that's why we're standing on this stage 8 years later, and that's why we're going to watch the 13th season of that damn show that should have never lived that long. A show, hour-long drama with 2 male leads to live 13 seasons. I don't know if there's any other show in history that's ever done it. Maybe one. But
Can't think of any.
karma, compassion, and family, that's J squared to me. So. And Misha, J2M, I should say. Is that how you guys? It's J2M, right? Thank you so much for your question.
Thank you for the answer.
Of course. Hi.
Hi, Matt. I'll take the apple juice if she doesn't take it. Just saying. No, I'm kidding.
I will literally bring it over to you, and you will hate what's in it.
to keep the level up of the alcohol. Like, just don't get into the hangover.
No, you better drink some water today, okay? So drink some water, take your vitamins, and eat some vegetables.
Yes, I will. Thanks.
But we have 2 more days of this chaos.
Right, so my question is, I love seeing the friendships forming between the actors who weren't even on the same episodes, like on the convention tours. So my question would be, what do you think someone has to have, like a certain trait or characteristic to make them stick on the convention tour and get closer to you guys?
I think they have to be willing to blur the line between what is considered fan and celebrity. You know, I think you have to be willing to, you know, give to you guys more than just, here's your autograph, here's your picture, give me your money, go home. I think that you have to be willing to share a piece of you and a piece of your heart, and I think all these people do it. I think Supernatural has become like this crazy, just like this exceptional life experience for you guys and for us, all at the same time. You know, I was talking about this the other day, and I was like, with these guys that I know, especially in this circumstance, like Adam I met yesterday, David, Sasha I met yesterday, you know, these are just good people that are around and they have good hearts, and like in a matter of hours, it was like I'd known those guys for my whole life. It was the same thing with Jensen, Jared, Misha, the Marks, you know, everybody, all the girls involved. I mean, we have become a family, and I think it's because we care tremendously about the show continuing. We care tremendously about one another, as if we're brother and sister or family, true blood family, and we care a whole lot about what we give to you guys rather than what we take from you guys. You know, so I just think it's that. I think it's, in this business, it's very easy to take because a lot is given to you, you know, in the entertainment world, in Hollywood, money and items and art, you know, material things, but it's about what you give back that makes you great. It just is what it is. You could be a mediocre actor, but if you give your heart and soul to the people that support you, you're a great person, you know.
Yeah, and we appreciate you for that.
Wow, well, thank you. Appreciate it. It's a big family, and you guys, it's now your job to tell the rest of the people that aren't in this room right now, which is most of you, how important it is that they cherish our family, our Supernatural family, man. It's a big deal. It's a bigger deal than the newcomers might believe. So we got to make sure all the newbies understand that. Well, who's new in here still? Anybody? Any new? Welcome to the weirdest family you've ever been involved in. You'll always be taken care of here. You'll always find a friend here, and you'll always find comfort and acceptance somehow. So you're really lucky to be part of it. Hi, you over here.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. So you were just talking about season 13, and that made me want to ask you this question. So if you do come back, which would you prefer, as John or as Michael? And from your point of view personally, how would you think from these characters, John or Michael, how would that affect the storyline that's currently going?
Well, the storyline would get much better because I'd be in it. That is an impossible question to answer. If they brought me back as Mary Winchester, I'd be happy. You know, it doesn't. I love playing Michael. He has no rules, and I just got such a small taste of him, you know, in that episode, and then kind of a small taste of like Lucifer in the baby episode. Any character on that show, just to be on that show is such a, you know, it's just an exciting, fulfilling experience. You're working with people you love, you're doing it for a show you love, for fans that you love. It's just so positive. So to pick Michael or John, I couldn't. I mean, I have reasons to love both, right? Michael is interesting, edgy, and he's an archangel, so essentially he has no rules on his acting. Young John is naive and honest, and it's in the 1970s, you know, which is a fun time to play young John, although I've aged a bit, so maybe it would be like late 70s, early 80s if you brought him back. Does anybody know when the year John died by any chance? Does anybody know that? I'm ashamed of you people. No, I don't know, but either one would be great. What is it? Scream it.
2006.
2006. Are we sure? Yeah. All right, 2006. So, yeah. sometime in between then and there, I could play a slightly older version of young John, maybe, before he goes fully dark and becomes the person you guys all love to hate and hate to love. I don't know. Any character on the show would be a pleasure, you know. Let it be John, let it be Michael. Just bring me back, all right?
I really hope you come back.
Just bring me back. Let me tell one more story on that show. Let me do one more scene on that show. When they called me to do Baby, it was like the best day ever. I was so excited. I was filming How to Get Away with Murder. And this is what we did. I filmed How to Get Away with Murder Wednesday morning to Wednesday late in the wee hours, to like 2, 3 a.m. and to Thursday morning. I got on a plane at 6 a.m., flew to Vancouver, went straight to the set, sat in a car with Jared for 7 hours trying to film that scene, filmed it, went straight back to the airport, and then went to a convention in Minneapolis. So it was a wild, tired time, but I think that's kind of why I liked the episode so good. It was honest. It was kind of like my most honest portrayal of that moment that I could bring. Because there's something that happens to actors when you get so tired, when you've worked for 20 hours or 18 hours on set, your creative mind kicks into the most honest place it can be, because that's all you have is the energy to just be in that moment, you know, just be in this scene, in this car with this boy. That's all you have left. And so I'm super proud of Baby, and I have no idea why I went on this tangent, but this is where we are now. So thank you for your question. Did I answer your question, I guess? John, Michael, they're both awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
I really hope you come back.
Me too. And you know what? I think I'll be back. Honestly, in my heart, I will tell you this. I have a gut feeling, I have a good gut feeling, I always follow my gut, that there will be at some point, somehow, some way, an R2M episode with Richard, Rob, and me in the same episode. Yes, it's a dream, and yes, I've read plenty of fan fiction about it. Doesn't mean it can't be reality, all right? So keep our fingers crossed for the G-rated, the very innocent version of that episode. Thank you again for your question. Hi there, how you doing?
Hi, morning, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
I wanted to ask you, as an actor, are there any performances that stand out for you or inspire you from film or TV over the years?
Yes, there's so many, obviously. The countless numbers of acting performances I'm astonished by. Most recently I watched this movie Lion. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. It was up for some Oscars. It may have won. I'm pretty sure it won. You guys should see this movie Lion. It's this beautiful story about these two brothers who were kind of separated and raised by separate families when they're very young, and then it's the one brother's journey to find the other brother, and it's just, I cried like 10 different times in the movie. It was so good. If you don't want to cry, don't watch it, because you will cry, I assure you. If you watch it and don't cry, you should talk to somebody, because your emotions are screwed up. But it's really good. You should check it out. What else is out there? I'm a huge Moana fan. I know, like, I'm trying to get Richard on board. You know, all my buddies that have kids, I'm like, have you seen Moana? It's just the most powerful woman I feel like Disney has ever presented is this Moana lead character. She's taking over her father's position as chief on this island, and the music is spectacular, and there's this giant golden crab that sings a great song, and The Rock is in it. We all know who The Rock is, right? He's an international mega super maniac muscle star. I don't even know what you call him. He gets his own definition, but you would never think that an ex-wrestler could be such a charismatic cartoon, and he just steals the show. So performance-wise, everybody in Moana really stole the show for me. I know the lead character who plays the lead girl is actually, I believe, a Hawaiian girl, and she does a tremendous job, and The Rock, and everybody that's in it. I forget the guy's name, but have you seen the movie?
Yes.
Tamatoa, the big crab. It's one of the guy from Flight of the Conchords, and I just think he's literally in the movie for one scene, and he's so funny. It's good. Listen, if you take anything from this panel, it's that I love you people. I think Jared and Jensen are handsome, and you should see Moana, all right? Those are the three main details of this panel. Other than that, you don't have to remember any of it. You.
Hi.
Hi.
You good?
I'm doing fantastic.
Great. Well, my question is, if you, what do you think young John's reaction would be if he met older John in Supernatural?
First of all, I'll tell you what Matt Cohen's reaction would be. He would be super excited to be in an episode. This is my other dream episode, right? So my other dream episode, besides the R2M episode, is young John and older John and the boys. And for some reason, they're either working as a team or nemesis against each other for some reason. So as if it were Dean and Jeffrey Dean, Jensen and Jeffrey Dean and Jared and myself. I know, there's like too many of the names here. Just, do I call him Sam? Do I call him Dean? Do I call him Jared? Do I call him Jensen? I don't know. But I have this like mega episode where we're either battling each other or battling people as a group. That one will probably never happen, unfortunately. But I guess I can't say that, right? I mean, we're doing a Scooby-Doo episode next season, so anything can happen, I guess, at this point. Like if young John saw older John and knew that it was older John, or him, knew that it was himself looking at his older self, I'm pretty sure he would just freak out. I'm pretty sure he would just lose his mind. And I mean, imagine if you right now were talking to me and I was you in 20 years.
Yeah.
How would you feel? I mean, like how do you even react to something like that? I think it's so abnormal and so impossible that you would just freak out a little bit. I guess. We'll have to find out when they bring me back to the show. We'll have to see. Hopefully Jeffrey Dean Morgan will be there and I'll have to play that scene. Hi!
Hi. You just mentioned that you were 7 hours in a car with Jared. There must be some stories there because, I mean...
I mentioned I was 7 hours in a car?
With Jared.
Yeah, you mean in the scene when we're shooting?
He must have done something to you.
I will tell you, we actually talked about, I think, a new American football stadium that was being built. There were so many pages of important dialogue that we didn't have a lot of time to mess around. It was just, the director who filmed that episode is named Thomas J. Wright. He's a very well-known director. He worked with tons of famous people in Hollywood. He's been doing it for a long time. Anyways, when we shot that scene, there were so many different camera setups because obviously the story is being told through the perspective of the car. So we just had to do this like 6 or 7 page scene like 30 or 40 times, or 20 times or however many times, because it was just different setup after setup after setup after setup, and everybody knew I was on a time crunch because I had to get to a convention in Minneapolis, so it was, sadly there weren't that many jokes, and never have I been on the set of Supernatural and has there been time to even play jokes. It's been such show up, let's work as hard as we can to get this done, and by the end of the day we have just succeeded. We have just accomplished what we set out to accomplish, so not a whole lot of time for pranks. I will tell you, it was 2 sweaty dudes in a car because both of us sweat profusely when we sit down and do nothing. So there was that, but other than that, it was just nice. It was nice to be back behind that steering wheel, playing that character, or a version of that character, strangely. Robbie Thompson, I called him when he gave me that script, and I was like, Robbie, what am I teasing? What is going to happen? Who is this supposed to be? And he wouldn't tell me anything. So in my mind, I immediately thought the only way to play Gabriel and Lucifer all in the same thing. And I got lucky because, inevitably I was delivering a Lucifer message, but I had no idea. I wanted so bad to be God. It was so, but then at the same time I was like, no, they couldn't possibly write me as God after Rob. Like, there's just no way. But everything in my guts, the way that I read the scene, was a message from God, or a message from Lucifer, which plays almost the same way, a little darker. But yeah, I thought for sure I was going to be God, and I was going to have to text Rob and apologize that I was given the most remarkable role on television of God. So I don't know. Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Well, excuse me, miss, can I help you find your seat? What about your pick a number. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 3. No, it's her. It's her drink. 3, we're going with 3. And you're certain that that's... Yep, apple juice. Because it's the morning, I only like to give half cups of apple juice. Don't tell Danielle I'm doing this.
Ask for ID.
I will be fired. Do you have ID? What's the drinking age in this state, in this country? I don't know where I am, people. Yeah, of course I want your ID. I'm an undercover cop when I'm not on Supernatural. Oh, you forgot your wallet. I remember that one. How old do you have to be to drive in this country?
18.
Where are you from? Oh yeah, when were you born? I feel like you've told this lie before. Everybody, cheers to this woman. She loves apple juice. Apple juice, nothing gets you going like a fresh cup of squeezed juice in the morning. I can assure you your day will only go downhill from here. I don't know what does that say, Jensen? Oh, that's why nobody's in here?
And
It all makes sense now. Hey.
We had a meet and greet with Misha, so.
A meet and greet, so that I get the panel during Jensen's photo op and a Misha and greet.
We came back.
Well, it's nice to see you guys coming back in. Let me tell you what you missed, all right? What did we miss? I told a cool poop story. I just gave a shot of apple juice to an underage fan. You just don't tell the police. We talked about John and Michael coming back to the show and how I'd like to play any character on the show.
Pantless.
Doesn't matter. I'm pantless, of course. What else did you miss? That's pretty much it. My favorite karaoke song is Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song, as you probably know already. And I think that's all we went over. Is there anything else important that I forgot to fill in? Krista here, because it's important.
And Liana.
Oh, and Moana. We talked about Moana. I sang my one line of Moana that I like to sing. I've been standing at the edge of the water long as I can. You know what's even better? The crab song. Hold on, I'm trying to think of it. Who knows the crab song? Nobody knows the crab song. Am I like the only Disney nerd in this room? What is happening? No, but how does it start? It's like, Tamatoa hasn't always been this glam. I was a drab little crab once. There we go, I kind of know it. I'm going to memorize it for tomorrow, how about that? That's a lie, I probably won't do that, so don't ask me in my next panel. Does anybody else have any questions? You're close to a microphone, do you want to ask a question? Make up a question. Any question, but say it in the microphone. You can ask me something that has nothing to even do with me. Yes. The crab song. Yeah, don't play it, because then everybody's going to want me to sing it. Great. And what is your lovely question?
Who's your favorite other guest here?
You better turn that shit off. Who's my favorite guest here? You guys should look it up, though, because this is a damn good song. My favorite guest at the convention?
Yeah.
How could you possibly ask me that question? I thought you were going to ask me something that wouldn't get me in trouble. So what if I said my favorite guest was like Adam or David or one of these people? That would not even
It's okay.
be right, though. Oh, you guys are my favorite guest. You guys are my favorite guests. I couldn't imagine a better guest. I love guests that sit down and stare at me and point their phones at me. I really love guests that ask questions that I don't know the answers to into microphones. So, yes, you guys are my favorite guest. Thank you so much for asking me a question.
Perfect answer, thank you.
You're very welcome. Hi, on this side. How are you?
Yeah, fine, thank you.
Okay.
I'm just a little bit nervous.
Don't be nervous. There's no reason to be nervous. If anybody should be nervous, it's me, because I know I'm not.
Jensen up, so I'm.
Oh, how did they? Did they smell good?
Definitely, yeah.
What was your picture? What kind of picture did you go for? What was the pose?
And the way we did yesterday.
The way we did yesterday?
Yes.
Big hug, squishy.
Yeah.
Was it nice?
Very nice. I wanted to ask you a question.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Tell me, what's your question? I was trying to help you through your nerves.
Yeah, thank you. It helped. If you were asked, for which actor or actress you would go to a convention to and did photo ops and.
If I was a fan and I was attending a convention, who would I go to see? Besides Jared and Jensen?
Yes, right.
See, here's the thing. I'm a big Disney guy. I have a 2-year-old, so I'm like into the Disney stuff. So I kind of do go to a version of a convention whenever I have a chance, but my convention's called Disneyland. And I show up there and I take pictures with all these big sweaty furry animals. That's kind of like my convention. I don't know. Man, there's so many actors. I mean, I would love to have a sit-down meet and greet with hundreds of actors. I'd love to pick their brains about all sorts of stuff. I'm currently infatuated with a show. I don't know if it's airing here yet, but it's a Star show called American Gods. Has anybody heard of this? All the actors on the show are amazing. Good morning. How are you? Good to see you. Did you just come from a Jensen and Jared photo op? What did it feel like? What? Was your heart racing? I'm asking honestly. Yeah. She handled it no problem.
I can relate to that.
What the hell was I talking about? Oh, right. Disneyland.
American Gods.
American Gods. You see how my mind works? I go backwards, I lose one thought, I gain one thought. It's just terrible. So American Gods, if you haven't seen it, it's great. There's this guy on it, his name's Pablo Schreiber. I think that's his name. Raise your hand if you've seen the show. The leprechaun guy, you know who I'm talking about?
Mad Sweeney.
Yeah. What's Matt Sweeney is his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's my spirit animal. That is me if I was not a nice person. And I just walked around fighting people with gold coins in my hand. But yeah, I'd love to sit down with him and go, how the hell did you play Mad Sweeney on American Gods and Porn Stash on Orange is the New Black and do both to the point where just about every audience member hates you thoroughly. Like, he is just so good at playing the bad guy. It's incredible. Guys, go see American Gods if you haven't seen it. It's a new series. I believe we're on episode 3. They're all incredible. Also, if I haven't said this before, don't forget to watch Moana. Thank you for your question.
Thank you for your answer.
Of course. Hi.
Hi.
I hope your question is so good. Did you just get back from a Jared and Jensen photo op?
No, I had a Jared auto and a Misha auto, so...
Jeez.
It wasn't nerve-wracking.
Just so you guys know, I am hosting a shirtless, pantless karaoke party during Jared and Jensen's panel. It'll be outside. It'll be just not in this room. So go look for the naked Matt Cohen. I'm kidding. That's not true. Come to their panel, or they'll both beat me up. Your question.
I have 2 questions.
It's also not true. They can't beat me up. I'm their dad.
So the first question is, what's your favorite color?
Black.
Cool. And the second question is that is there anything that you'd want to know about your fans? As in, like, if you could ask fans questions, what kind of things would you want to know about us?
Wow, that's a good question. We do, in meet and greets, we often like to do the, like, where are you from? What do you do? And then we like to do something creative with you guys, like make up a weird, what your porno name would be, or your craft beer, or the name of your new record, or stuff like that. So I I'm always very interested in what you guys do and where you come from, because we're such a vast group of people. You guys travel from all over the place to hang out, and everybody seems to be pretty damn nice, which is kind of crazy because I don't know, you just never know. I guess being from America, I'm a little bit tainted because there's so many assholes in my country. I'm not speaking on all of them, I'm just saying, like, I guess, okay, here's the thing. I take that back. Let me retract that statement. That was an alternative fact. I'm gonna say where I work and where I live in Los Angeles, there's an outrageous number of assholes in that city. I think that's the thing. So when I travel abroad and I see, like, I was in France 2 weeks ago and the people were so lovely, and then Australia, and they're great. The way their dialects keep me laughing all day. And in Rome, like, you guys dress really well at this convention. It's just like feels like such a classy event, you know? Like, so I think it's interesting to know where you guys come from. It's also interesting to know what you guys do. There's so many people in the fandom that does so much for charity and gives back. So, you know, there's so many nurses and so many doctors, so many people that work with children. You know, just so many interesting jobs that make us realize how important you guys are and how we should support you in everything you do the same way you support us and everything that we do, you know? So, I don't know, are you guys, are we good? Should I do something? I'm not sure what's happening now, but something is happening. And there's lights, so yeah, start clapping, that's cool. Gil McKinney, ladies and gentlemen, Gil McKinney. I want to run to you and jump on you like the scene from The Notebook where Noah and Allie kiss, but I won't do it because you're my dad and it's fucking weird.
You can give me a big hug. How's that?
I'm so proud of you, boy. Guys, Gil McKinney, am I hanging up?
Yeah, you're hanging with me for a second.
Let me tell you what we've been going over so far.
Okay.
First of all, Jared and Jensen had a photo op, Misha had a meet and greet, so there was 9 people in here to start off.
Sounds about right.
We're slowly filling the room. I'm actually glad the lights are back down now. We can't tell how empty it is. So we can still feel important, Gil. It's okay.
But these people are here.
That's what matters.
Yes, that's what matters. Thank you for being here.
We've discussed lovely things. I shared a great poop story of my son.
Wonderful.
I like to start the morning out.
Oh, of your son.
Real quick. Yeah, I didn't tell him my poop story. Too many to tell. I couldn't possibly pick.
That's a weird way to start the day, but you know.
It is. I mean, it depends who you are. But you know, so we had a poop story.
A Macklin poop story.
Macklin poop story. Have you seen the movie Moana by any chance?
No, I haven't yet.
Damn it, Gil!
Well, here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. I'm a grown man.
You're also a real-life Disney prince, so I expect you to see those type of... Like when ABC, you know, ABC announced the live-action kind of animated Little Mermaid they're doing, right?
Yes.
Wait,
I haven't heard of this.
They just
I've heard of the Aladdin one.
No, they just announced it last week. It's ABC. It's going to be live. It's both theatrical and mixed with animation. And immediately I thought, wow, Gil should play that, but I'm going to tweet ABC and say, cast me instead.
And as you should. As you should.
I did. It's not that I don't care about you, Gil. I just want all the money and jobs for myself. So,
well, I have not seen Moana. I have a baby girl now, and I'm really excited to watch that with her.
My dad is a real dad now.
Yeah.
It's kind of...
So there's actually a lot. I love Disney movies, but there's a lot that I haven't seen. And I'm looking forward to watching them with her, so...
You will enjoy it thoroughly.
Yeah, I hear it's great.
It's really, honestly, all BS aside, it's the best Disney movie I've ever seen.
Really?
Really, like that good. Rich hasn't seen it, and he knows every song and every piece of dialogue from the movie Frozen. And I'm like, Rich, I need you to see this. Every time we do a panel, there's a funny bit.
Yeah, Rich is always singing Let It Go. It's
always,
so
and he's
annoying.
like, but he knows every word. He knows the Olaf song, he knows all these songs, but he just won't see Moana because he's like, I have to see it with my kids. And there's this song in it that The Rock sings called You're Welcome.
Right.
And every time Rich said something to me in Australia, I wanted to break out into that song and be like, what else is there to say except you're welcome? And I couldn't because he didn't see the movie. The joke wasn't funny to him. And it really irritated me.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
I really wish you saw the movie. Guys.
So how's Macklin? How's fatherhood for you?
Fatherhood for me is great. I'm sleeping for the first time in 2 years. It's nice. You know, he's He's in underwear, which is good and bad.
He's wearing underwear.
He's wearing underwear, which is good and bad.
When are you going to start wearing underwear?
Never, never. There's no better feeling than waking up with a nice hot pee in your diaper as a grown man. Nothing keeps you more grounded, you know? And that's what's important in the business, to keep your feet on the ground and a dump in your pants. Everybody knows that.
It's a classic Matt Cohen quote.
That's classic.
Yeah.
That's classic.
Put that on a shirt.
I am a real prized possession.
Somebody on Twitter the other day was joking, well, I don't think they were joking, they were like, your daughter's so adorable, like she and Macklin should get together one day. And I was like, absolutely not.
And I was like, that's
nothing against Macklin, he's a gorgeous kid, but I know you too well.
I assure you, Gilbert, my son will be a far better man than I ever was.
That'll be all because of your wife.
That is 100% true. Those are facts. Those of you who don't know, my wife is an outstanding citizen, and I have no idea why she married me. But she did, and now she's contractually stuck with me. So I win. Always marry up, ladies and gentlemen. Always marry up. It's very important, especially if you're having kids, because then your kid will grow up much better than you did. What else should we talk about up here? Gil?
I don't know. Should we,
I think you guys have some questions. I know they're not for me, because I ran out of question askers like 300 hours ago.
Hey, they gotta be some for you. Isabella.
Actually,
oh wow.
Good morning.
Gil, way to show me up. He's like, hey, I know your name and your address and your phone number.
My question is actually for Matt.
Hey, how about that?
You? I love this.
Isabella, thank you.
I don't know if you've been asked before, but would you rather come back as Michael or John Winchester?
I have been asked this before. I'm guessing you were at a Jared or Jensen photo op or a meet and greet.
Why? Because she's glowing?
She's glowing, and I can feel her irregular pulse from here.
She's got a little perspiration on her upper lip.
Because of you, not.
Listen, I could not possibly pick one of those. If they brought me back to Supernatural, I'd be just
But if you could, like,
ever so grateful. Michael is more fun,
yeah, I agree.
but John means a little more to me. You know, Michael's a free, you know, it's a character that doesn't have rules. He's an archangel. He's a, you know, he's majestic. He's fantastic. And John has morals. You know, there's a story to be told through John, where Michael is, I can create whatever I want around him. So both of them, but if I had to pick to give you an answer, Isabella, my dear friend, that I know your name, it would probably be Michael. Yes.
Thank you, guys.
You are very welcome. Thank you, Isabella. What's her name, Gil? Go for it. Make me look bad. Oh, you're just gonna give her one of them all. You're like, what's your name? Hey.
What is your name?
It's Nissa.
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 Yes.
I already forgot it. What is it? N-I-S-A? How do you spell it?
N-Y-S-S-A. It's a difficult one.
Wow, I wouldn't have.
It's not that difficult.
It's difficult for some, okay?
Wow.
So for some of us have a hard time.
What's your question?
My question is actually for both of you. Because we were talking about nerves earlier, and I was wondering if you ever had a fanboy moment with someone.
I'm having a fanboy moment right now, look. I mean, not on my crotch, like I'm just a fan and I'm a boy. Ah, boy, that's gonna be on YouTube. Thanks.
Gotta let it breathe. Gotta let it breathe.
If you need to remember what I did there, just follow Krista on Twitter and you'll know the mistakes I made on stage.
Fanboy moment.
Athletes, I feel like.
Really? Is
more
it
than actors for me? I haven't met any. But I feel like.
But you've been around?
I've been around some professional boxers that I've kind of, you know, gotten quiet in their presence. When I met Manny Pacquiao in the gym. Do you guys know Manny Pacquiao? Manny Pacquiao is how everybody says it in the Philippines. But I met him and he's tiny, he's a little man, like 5'6" maybe, and just nervous to look at. You get nervous just to look at him, knowing that he just destroyed so many men's faces over the years. So I think for me it's more athletes. What about you? What do you got?
I had I didn't lose my cool, really.
Sounds like you did, the way you're starting off.
Probably Brad Pitt. Okay,
You met Brad Pitt?
Yeah, he's just the coolest. I was at a party, this was probably, gosh.
Is he sexy as hell when you look at him?
It was when he and Jen were going through their breakup, so whatever year that was. What's that? Yeah, many years ago.
I thought you were like 9
So
years.
I was at a party, and we have a mutual friend, and I was at her birthday party, and I was sitting in the house. Everybody was like in the backyard, and this was years ago. I was single, so I was probably texting a girl or something. But I'm sitting by the front door on my phone, and the front door cracks open. And lo and behold, Brad Pitt sticks his head in, and I just looked up and was like,
he stuck his head in from outside?
Yeah, he's coming into the party.
Holy shit!
It's fucking Brad Pitt. And he's like,
yeah.
What's up, man? And I said, what's up, man? And he walks in, I'm like, oh, you idiot, you just said exactly what he said back to him.
But like, what do you even say to
No, so then
Brad
he goes,
Pitt?
right, and that's the last person I was expecting to walk into the house. Nobody knew he was coming. So anyway, he goes into the kitchen and he's hanging out, and my friend Elizabeth comes, she's like, hey, have you met Brad? And I was like, well, we didn't really meet. And she's like, come meet him, you guys should hang out. So she takes me in and introduces me to him. He couldn't have been nicer, and he was like, hey, I'm gonna go out to the backyard. You wanna come with me? And I'm like, sure, Brad Pitt, I'll hang out with you. So then I'm like walking down this hallway to the backyard of the house. Brad Pitt's in front of me, and we're walking out, and this group of 5 girls is coming in from the backyard, and they're all just talking and having fun, and then
you're like, hey, this is my friend Brad.
All of them, and it's in a moment, just their faces just dropped, and they just got silent and walked by, and then they just fell apart.
Yeah,
it was like, it was amazing. I've never seen anything like that until last year. I followed Jensen through this hotel. It was a very similar kind of vibe.
Jensen is Supernatural's Brad Pitt. I mean,
Jensen gets a little extra like swag in his step when he's here. I've noticed.
Yeah.
Oh, like, when he's always like cool and collected, but he gets a little bit more like.
Yeah. He walked into the green room this morning and did something I've never seen him do. He threw double comedy elbows on it. It wasn't just like, Jensen usually walks up like this, and he's like. He walked in this morning, like Gil said, with a little strut.
Yeah.
And he was like... And we were like, shit! Yeah. This must be JIB8 happening here.
He leads more with like this.
Hey, rightfully so. When in doubt, let your loins lead the way, right?
When in doubt or when in doubt?
Both of those. Hold on, I gotta go back to Brad Pitt. This is a baffling story.
Oh, so anyway, sorry, go ahead.
No, I want to hear more.
So then we're hanging out in the backyard, and I'm chatting with Brad Pitt. There's maybe like, I don't know, 50, 60 people there. And the music wasn't even that loud or whatever, but then all of a sudden the cops showed up, which never really happens in LA like that much unless you're just being an asshole. But this group of like 3 or 4 cops like come in like through the bushes in the backyard, and they're just like, all right, you guys get a little loud back here. What's up, Brad?
It's Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt. And then they're like,
shh,
we got Brad Pitt.
Don't bother sending back over. We could just have some food catered and bring some beers.
We're gonna be a while.
Yeah, we're gonna be here talking to Bradford. I don't know what he goes by. Mr. Pitt, whatever it is. I don't even know if he likes Mr. Pitt. Sounds weird. I'm gonna call him Bradley.
Can I get you anything, buddy? You need anything? I'm gonna arrest these folks, but you're good.
That's pretty much what happened. No, they go, all right, you guys are cool. Just keep the music down. And so then they leave, and then more cops came back to see Brad Pitt. I swear, I was like, wow, this is, talking about fanboys. LAPD, you guys got nothing better to do?
I know, that was like the code into the radio, though. They were like, yeah, just cater some food and some beer, you know what I mean. Bring the rest of the guys down.
We got a 387.
Make sure you bring your camera. I need a photo up with this son of a bitch. I also need an autograph. If you have a Sharpie in the car, you need to bring that down. And actually, I'm gonna get a tattoo. He's gonna do it right on my ass right now. Excuse me, Mr. Bradley, just sign away. I think that I would be starstruck if I met Brad Pitt. And not because it's like, holy, I should get off the stage. I'm gonna get off the stage now?
You can stay.
Gil, thank you for sharing a lovely Brad Pitt story. You guys are welcome for my poop story, and I will see you in a little bit.
I'm good, how are you?
I know you. What's your name?
Shraddha.
Shraddha, that's right. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
It's nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too. It's always a pleasure.
Yes.
My question is about your album that you're working on at the moment. I wanted to kind of know two things, like how you found the experience of doing something like that, because it's quite a big thing for you to do, and also have you got any stories and stuff to share from actually the creative or the making process to share with us?
Yes. Okay, for those of you that don't know, I'm in the process of recording an EP. Thank you. And for those of you who don't know what EP means, because honestly I didn't know, it stands for extended play. And it's basically not an album, but bigger than a single, right? So Jason, several months ago, Jason came to me and asked me if I would be interested in doing a Kickstarter and putting together an EP. And I'm glad that he did that, because I probably wouldn't have just done it on my own. I don't know, so he kind of like was the encouraging factor in that. And so we set up a Kickstarter. You guys were amazing in your support. And so we've finished recording. Right now I'm like designing the cover and the pictures and all that kind of stuff. And hopefully it'll be ready like in the next month or so. So very soon. And I'm going to bring them to conventions with me, and you guys will be able to download them, and you'll find all of that out very soon. As far as the process goes, I'd never recorded anything in the studio before. I mean, little things here and there, like on one of Jason's friends' albums. But it was quite an experience. I mean, I think we're going to end up having 7 songs on the EP. We attempted like 9 or 10. There were a couple, 2 or 3 that ended up not making the cut for whatever reason. It wasn't nerve-wracking, it was just different. It's different than singing on stage. It's very intimate, and the microphone picks up everything, you know. There were some songs that I thought I was going to be able, or there was one in particular that I thought I was really going to be able to do well that ended up not working out. There was another one I didn't think that I could sing that I really surprised myself on. I'm really excited for you guys to hear it. I think it's good. I'm really happy with the way it's coming together. I've listened to the songs so many times now that, like, you know, some days I love it, some days I don't, but for the most part it's very like, there's some standards, it's very kind of jazzy, it's like jazzy, poppy, kind of blues stuff, so it's going to be fun, and the musicians, the band that played for me, I mean, they're incredible. So I'm really excited for you guys to hear it, and I hope you like it.
Thank you, we're all excited.
Thank you. Oh, and I wrote my first original song too. I'd never written a song before. I mean, I tried little things here and there, but I'm so hypercritical of myself that like I usually, would try and then just be like, oh, that's garbage, and get discouraged or whatever, which happens sometimes. But I tried, and I actually wrote a song that I'm really, really proud of, and so that's going to be on there. And then Jason was kind enough to give me an original song that he co-wrote. And but he had never recorded before, so that's going to be on there. And then we did like 5 covers that I think you'll like. So I'm excited. Hey.
Hello. I would like to ask what kind of Disney villain you would like to play.
What kind of Disney villain? Probably Gaston. He just seems like such a fun character to play. I just recently saw the movie, and I can't think of the guy's name off the top of my head. I'm sure you know. I thought he was fantastic, though. He was great. I had a fun experience seeing that movie. My mom was in LA for the week, and the only thing that she said she wanted to do was go see Beauty and the Beast with me for some reason. I thought that was really sweet. When I was a kid, she took me to Houston to see the very first stage production of Beauty and the Beast ever, the one that ended up going to Broadway. It actually started in Houston. And so she loves that musical, and so I took her to see Beauty and the Beast at this theater that I like in LA, and we went like to a matinee on a weekday, and nobody else came, so we had the entire theater to ourselves. It was really cool, and like we sat right in the middle, right in the center, and it was just a really nice memory to have with my mom. So but Gaston just seems like fun. Thank you. Hi.
So my question is, your character Henry Winchester was a man of letters, and if you still had to choose, would you rather be a man of letters or a hunter?
Men of letters. Yeah, I want to play that character again so bad, you know, that I would probably stick with Henry as he is. Yeah, I really like the character a lot. I think there's a lot of layers to him. He's not a perfect man, but I think he's got a good heart, and he really wants the best for his family and his friends and his fellow men of letters and for the world. And I don't know, I just think there's something really, really great about Henry. You know, when you do guest stars in TV shows, most of the time, I mean, I've done so many like suspects and murders and like, you know, interrogation scenes and whatever, like these procedural type things. But Henry was special, you know. There was like some substance to that character, and I had a lot of fun scenes to shoot as well. So yeah, it's just it was a great. It's probably one of my favorite characters I've ever gotten to play. Truly, and it's turned into like the most amazing thing, one of the most amazing things that's ever happened to me. This was all so unexpected, you know, from getting to do a guest star on Supernatural. Like, it's literally changed my life in such an amazing way. So I thank you guys for that, and thank you for continuing to have me back. I feel very lucky.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
Hey. So you were in the film The Grudge 3. And like, I'm so traumatized by those films, so I would like to just ask, like, how was the experience of filming that film? Like, was it scary or?
Wow, I don't know that I've ever gotten a Grudge 3 question. Thank you, I like it. Anybody else here see The Grudge 3? A couple people. Okay, so you know the Grudge films, right? You probably saw the first one at least, maybe the second. Well, there is a third one that I'm in if you want to see it. It was an awesome experience. I had so much fun. I had so much fun shooting it. It was really intense, though. It was okay. So we shot. The budget on that film was not what the first two were. Let's just say, but for what they had, I thought they did a really good job. We shot in Sofia, Bulgaria. It took us 4 weeks to shoot the whole film, which really isn't a whole lot of time to shoot a full-length feature. We shot in Sofia, Bulgaria, which obviously I'd never been to before. I thought it's kind of I don't know, Bulgaria is an interesting place to me. It was just like a different world. I'd never been to a country like that, and I was there for a month, and we worked really, really hard. We shot like 12, 13, 14-hour days. It rained a lot, it was cold, it was dark, the soundstage was dark, and it was kind of depressing, honestly. By the time the experience was done and I was heading home, I was just like exhausted and really kind of depressed, honestly, like, because it was kind of dark subject matter, you know, and when you're in that place for an extended period of time, it kind of can take its toll on you, and also just being in a far off land too, but it was a lot of fun, and I had a wonderful co-star named Johanna Brady, who was in it with me as well. She's on Quantico now. Anyway, she's a wonderful actress. So yeah, if you haven't seen The Grudge 3, check it out. It's fun.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
So, first of all, I was wondering which is your favorite song from a musical? And I just want to remind you that like 2 years ago, you promised us to sing Stars from Les Miserables.
You're right. I keep promising to learn that song. Oh, yeah, I still don't know it. Do you guys want me to sing something?
Yes.
Okay, I just got really nervous. Give me 1 second. You said my favorite song from a Broadway show?
Yes.
All right, hang on. Bear with me.
Walk up and close the door. And maybe walk up and close the door, but it's really noisy.
She's on that side.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you remember what she before?
It's 100.
100 years.
Oh yeah.
For so you say they're buying the logo. What of you?
What's that for?
It's a little early in the morning, but let's give this a shot.
Yeah. They need to run that faster. I wonder whether
This one. This is what happens when you do stuff on the fly.
oh my god, it's still going round. Oh, Sasha.
Nighttime sharpens, heightens each sensation. Darkness stirs and wakes imagination. Silently the sunset abandon their defenses. Night unfurls its splendor, grasp it, sense it, tremulous and tender. Turn your face away from the garish light of day. Turn your thoughts away from cold, unfeeling night, and listen to the music of the night. Close your eyes and surrender to your darkest dreams. Purge your thoughts of the life you knew before. Close your eyes, let your spirit start to soar. And you live as you've never lived before. Softly, deftly, music shall surround you. Feel it, hear it, closing in around you. Journey through a strange new world. Leave all thoughts on the world you knew before. Let your soul take you where you long to be. Only then can you belong to me. Floating, falling, sweet intoxication. Touch me, trust me, savor each sensation. Let the dream begin. Let your darker side give in to the power of the music that I write. The power of the music of the You alone can make my song take flight. Help me me make the music of the thank you so much. Thank you. So yeah, I like that song. Thank you. Thanks for that was not intentionally set up, but thank you for that question. Yeah, I love that song and I love singing that song.
That was great.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Wow, thanks guys. Yeah, I mean, look, it's I like to sometimes challenge myself at these things to do things I'm uncomfortable with, and singing that song at, before lunch is a little challenging. But thank you. Hey.
Hi there.
What's your name?
Good morning, Martina.
Martina?
Yes.
Nice to see you again.
Nice to
How are you?
Fine, thank you. So, my question is about Once Upon a Time. Okay. The third is gonna be a 7th season, alright. Do you think Eric and Daryl will come back? And if so, how do you picture their happy ending?
How do I picture their happy ending? Yes, so I was lucky enough to also get to do a few episodes of Once Upon a Time where I played Prince Eric, and they got picked up for a 7th season, which is really, really cool. And I've got to know a lot of those actors because I started doing conventions for Once Upon a Time as well. They got picked up for a 7th season, even though I think 3 or 4 of their leads are leaving. The show is continuing. They're kind of having a reboot of sorts, and I'm hopeful that they'll actually write something good for Ariel and I. We haven't had a whole lot to do together on the show for whatever reason. Again, sometimes it's kind of frustrating as an actor, when you're not in control of those things. And I'm grateful for the experience I had on the show. I would love to do more. So I'm hoping that now that some of those main characters have left, maybe they'll want to develop some of the other storylines a little more, but I really have no idea if they're going to. Before this past Christmas, my manager called me, and he was like, I've got good news. I got a call from casting, and he didn't say which show at first, and I swear to you, my first thought was Supernatural. And he said, no, Once Upon a Time called, and I was like, are you kidding me? That was the last thing I expected to happen. I was really hoping it was Supernatural. But I was thrilled to go back on Once Upon a Time. This past season, I just was in one scene. It was like one quick thing, but it's a lot of fun to work on. Not as much fun as Supernatural, but it was fun. It's fun. I literally flew up to Vancouver, worked one day, and then went home. That's kind of how they used me on that show. But it's nice work if you can get it, as they say. Yeah, we'll see. A lot of it kind of depends on Joanna Garcia and like her availability. I don't know if she's on another show now, but like Eric kind of goes as Ariel goes. So I'm hoping that they're going to write something for us to do. I just always had this hope that I don't know how our happy ending would be. I think in the show, I'm not totally sure because I don't really watch it, but I think in the show we technically had our happy ending and we were like, in love on an island somewhere, laying on a beach, which sounds pretty nice. But I had this hope that we would somehow shoot the shipwreck scene. When Eric ends up in the water and he's saved by Ariel. I thought that would be really fun to shoot. I just had this idea of like a water tank on soundstage and us getting to get in the water and like shoot something. I don't know. That's just where my head goes. I thought that would be a lot of fun. But anyway, it's a fun show to work on, and I hope to get to go back. So we'll see. Thank you, Martina. Hi.
Hi. So my question is, is it easier for you to talk in front of a crowd or in front of a camera? And how did your relationship with the audience change since you first started the convention?
Is it easier for me to speak in front of a crowd or be in front of a camera?
Yeah.
I've gotten better at this. I mean, I get nervous, you know, I still deal with that. It's just the way I'm wired. It's just who I am. I just kind of accept it. I remember the first convention though, and it was in Washington, D.C. in 2014, I believe. And I didn't know what to expect, and I walked through the curtain, and everybody stood up and cheered, and it was really, it was a really nice moment, and it kind of disarmed me and made me feel welcome and loved, and then I remember when I came off the stage, Richard Speight was like, "Buddy, you're a natural, like you're great." So like that felt good, to hear that from him. I'd say if I had to, I'm probably more comfortable in front of the camera, only because most of the time that's something that's very prepared, like I'm all about preparation, even for auditions. Like I usually memorize my auditions because there's just something about holding that piece of paper and reading off of it that kind of takes me out of the scene a little bit, and so I'm all about rehearsal and preparation and that sort of thing. So I don't know, they're two very different things, but I've gotten better at this because I've done a few of these now, and so but you can't really I've learned, I think it's better to not prepare too much for this. It's better to just kind of come out and try to relax and breathe and answer your questions and be present and have fun. Thank you. Hi.
What was the first LP you bought with your own money?
The first album I bought with my own money? Oh man. That's I think it was something really, most of you probably wouldn't, it was like Huey Lewis in the News or something. It was something like that, or yeah, I think that was it actually. I think I remember getting it was a cassette. I grew up, my parents both listened to music, especially my dad. I grew up listening to a lot of Bob Seger and Rolling Stones, James Taylor. Those were the records that my dad would play. So I got a lot of good memories of that. The first concert I ever went to by myself, without my parents or whatever, when I was old enough to go to a show, was Alanis Morissette. Yeah, I was really into her. I had I was such a little fanboy. I had bulletin board in my bedroom, and I had Nev Campbell. I was obsessed with Nev Campbell. If there had been conventions for Party of Five when I was a kid, I would have gone, I'm telling you. I think I wrote her a letter one time, but this was back before any of this really, and before Twitter, and where you could actually contact people. So this was, I'm dating myself a little bit, but I loved Party of Five, and I had this this board of cutouts of girls that I liked, and it was Nev Campbell and Alanis Morissette. There was two that were on there. Anyway, but I remember going to see an Alanis Morissette concert with a girlfriend of mine in Houston, and it was in a empty it was an old grocery store warehouse. It was just standing room only, and everyone was pushed to the front of the stage and just so sweaty and hot. And anyway, she was great. It was a fun experience. Thank you.
Was that in 97?
Welcome. Come on in.
Was the Alanis show in 97 when Radiohead opened?
In 97?
I think.
It was either...
So I saw Alanis and Radiohead opened.
Radiohead opened for Alanis? No. If Radiohead opened for Alanis back then, I probably didn't even know who Radiohead was. But you know what? They might have. I think it was either 96 or 97. That's interesting. I never thought about that.
I saw that.
Everybody good? Did you guys get your photos? Feeling good? Did you get a nice squeeze? A squishy hug? Oh man. Do we have any more questions? Anyone? So what am I supposed to do? How much longer do I have?
Spin the wheel!
Oh geez, this is still going? Okay. Wow. All right. Well, look, I like to dance. I'm not going to dance for you. Maybe you want me to sing something?
Did someone just yell full frontal?
This isn't that type of convention, Kristen.
Okay. Okay, so this is just I have a background track for this. Maybe this isn't the time to sing this song.
Wow.
Okay, so this is a song that I love. I actually heard Harry Connick Jr. sing this one time, and it was a different take on this song. It's from The Wizard of Oz, but so this is kind of a rough recording that a friend of mine did the piano part for me, but it's that right there. Yeah. This is a song, I like it because it's, I don't know, I relate to it. It's, conferring with the flowers, consulting with the rain, and my head I'd be scratching while my thoughts are busy hatching. If I only had a brain, I'd unravel any riddle for any individual in trouble or in pain. With the thoughts I'd be thinking, I could be another Lincoln if I only had a brain. Oh, I can tell you why the ocean's near the shore. I could think of things I've never thunk before, and then I'd sit and think some more. I would not be just a nothing, this head all full of stuffing, this heart so full of pain. Perhaps I deserve you and be even worthy of you if I only had a brain, if I only had a brain. Thank you. Thank you. I love that song, and I don't know. It just, to me, it's kind of. I don't know if you've ever heard it sung like that, but it's like that's like the heart of that song to me. it's kind of a sad song, you know. It's about someone who feels like they're not good enough or doesn't quite fit in. Anybody that's ever felt that way can probably relate. So anyway, thank you. Victoria?
Yeah, right.
Yes! One of these days I'm going to get one wrong and it's going to go very poorly.
I'm very glad you remember.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. A little bit nervous because.
It's okay, me too.
I want to ask you if you already saw the season 12 final and what you think about it.
I've not seen it.
Oh, okay.
I've not seen it. You know, I don't. Every now and again, I'll watch an episode like one that like Richard directed or whatever. I'll tune in and watch. I feel like I want to go back and watch all of it, but then it's like such a daunting task. You know, there's so many episodes. I probably should just get over that and just start watching, because I really do want to see. I want to see what this Arthur Ketch character is about. I've enjoyed meeting Davey, and I just want to see what he did with that role. And by you guys' response yesterday, apparently he did very well. So I probably should just jump into, you know, season 12 and watch at least season 12, right? I should probably just do that. I'm sure I would enjoy it. So yeah, I haven't seen the finale though. I've heard good things, I guess. Most of my Twitter feed is like all Supernatural. Because most of my followers are Supernatural fans, which is awesome. So when I scroll through my Twitter, it's just like pretty much all like Supernatural updates and that sort of thing. So, but it's cool. What did you think of it?
It was surprising.
It was surprising? Well, that's good. It's nice to be surprised.
I saw it yesterday when it was the thunderstorm, so it was really exciting.
Oh, cool. Yeah, how about that thunder lightning storm last night? That was pretty cool. We don't get that in LA, like ever. I've lived in LA for, gosh, 20 years? Which is crazy, I'm getting old. I've lived in LA for 20 years and I could probably count on, you know, I've heard thunder maybe 6 times, you know what I mean? Like it just doesn't happen there for whatever reason. And you never see lightning. But I grew up in Southeast Texas where thunderstorms and like that all the time. And so I loved that last night. I thought that was really cool. It's nice to like fall asleep to that too. I don't know. I've always wanted to live in Vancouver because I like the rain. I feel like I vibe really well in the rain. Anyway, I digress. So you guys excited for today? I think Jared and Jensen are coming on pretty soon. How much fun are those guys? Huh? I think they're such good guys, and I'm just so impressed with not only the way they handle their show. I was gonna say their work on the show, even though I haven't seen a lot of it. But the amount of work that these two have done is mind-boggling to me. I was joking with someone yesterday who said that somebody had got a series that got picked up and then it got canceled, and I was like, look, I'd love to have a series that got canceled. I'd love to have a pilot that didn't get picked up. These two guys, I mean, they just knocked it out of the park when they landed these roles, and the amount of work, and I think you guys know, I mean, you've seen the amount of work they've done. But when you're on a set, especially a TV set, you know, those days can get long. It can be really, really tiring and like mentally and physically just exhausting. And most of the time when I'm on a show, I'm like, you know, I'm a guest, and I've had like one experience where I became, you know, really was there a lot, and that was I was lucky enough to be in the last 2 seasons of ER, which was awesome. I got to play a doctor on ER, and that was just like, that was one of my favorite shows when I was in high school. So it was really cool to get to walk onto that show and be a part of that. That show, I was in season 14 and 15 of ER. The family aspect of that show, the cast, the crew, the way everybody worked, I'd never experienced anything like that until I worked on Supernatural. It's a very similar thing, because a lot of those guys have been there since the beginning. You know, a lot of them have started families and had kids and watched their kids grow up, and it's a really special thing. Anyway, but these two guys, the way they handle themselves on set and the amount of work that they do, And then the fact that they keep showing up to these things for you guys and for us, and they love it. They love it. It's just, I just think it's so cool. And I feel so lucky. I really do. I feel so lucky to get to do these things. And I hadn't gotten to travel a whole lot before this happened. I wasn't singing very much before this happened. I didn't have as many friends before this happened. Really. It's brought so much happiness into my life. You guys have no idea. It's hard to leave my wife and baby sometimes, but you know, my wife's amazing, and she's seen what a positive thing this has been for me in my life, and so she's always like so supportive and wonderful. And she actually got to come last year. She was here last year. She was pregnant. We stayed in Italy for 2 weeks. We'd never had a honeymoon. We never took our honeymoon. We put it off for this trip because we wanted to do Italy, and we wanted to do it the right way. So we started here, and then we did 2 weeks in Italy, and she was pregnant with our daughter at the time, and she drank a little bit of wine. I drink a lot. I drink a lot of wine. Like we'd order a bottle, she'd have like a little bit, and I'd be like, well, we don't want to waste it. It's pretty rude. So, yeah. So we had just had an amazing time, and it was all, you know, really. I mean, we spent 3 weeks in Europe all together. Did a convention in Rome, and then did this convention, and it was, you know, it was this that got us here and got us to have that experience. And it's just awesome. I just feel so lucky to get to do these things, and I hope that they can keep going. I want so badly. I told you guys this yesterday. I want so badly to go back on the show, not only because I want to get to play Henry again. It's like I have selfish reasons for wanting to go back on the show, but I also, I guess I'd like to believe that I want to do it for, like, I don't know, for you guys too, and I'd love to be able to bring him back for you. And I'd also love to be able to like have some new stories to tell. Yeah, I'd love to have some new stories to tell at these. It's weird though, like I also learned somewhere along the way that the show's the show, and I'm so happy I got to be in the show. But this is like its own show. Like this whole convention thing has like a life of its own, and it's all celebrating Supernatural, right? But this thing kind of took on its own thing for me, and it got me singing again. It's the thing that got me to record, you know, my first album. Like, it's the thing that got me to write my first song. You know, and I think about those things, and really, I don't know where I would be if I didn't get to be on Supernatural. Like, I don't know where I'd be. I hope that I would be happy. I hope that I'd be working, you know? I'd hope that I'd have my wife and my baby and my house and my dogs and my life. But if I didn't have this, man, I don't know. I don't know where I'd be.
Spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel. I better get apple juice.
What? You know, you can always turn
Imitate someone. Yeah, it's not, invitations are not like my forte. I don't know. I did Jensen yesterday. That was my best Jensen.
Maybe Jared?
And then Jared to me, and don't take offense to this, Jared to me is just more that like, hey guys. You know, he's I love him. I love when he comes in the room. I love when he comes in the room because he's just so funny and he's so quick and he's so tall and he's got that hair and he's got those beanies. He always just like smells good. It's like spraying cologne on and does he smell good at his phone? they're just, the two of them are both so funny in different ways. Jared is just, he's such kind of the life of the party to me, and like, everyone wants to be around Jared because he's just so funny. He's so funny, and just naturally a funny guy. And the cool thing too about him is like, he doesn't think he's funny, you know, but he's one of the funniest people I know. And Jensen too. Jensen's just Jensen. He's just more like laid back and cool, and like just kind of lays back and just watches Jared, and then, you know, we'll just say something, just kind of like quick little quips, you know. And Jensen is hilarious as Dean on the show. Like, is it Yellow Fever? Is that the name of that episode? Okay, that's my favorite episode that I've seen. And Jensen just is so funny. My wife and I were living in New York at the time, and I would start my mornings, I would get up and I would have coffee, and then I realized that Supernatural was on TNT every morning, like 2 or 3 episodes in a row. And so I would like just put it on as I'm like making breakfast, and kind of like, you know, this is background noise, and I would check in every now and again and watch a scene here and there. And anyway, I happened to catch that episode one morning, and I just sat down, and then I like rewound it and watched the whole thing, and just laughed my ass off. It's okay. All right, you guys. Do we get 2 guys coming on stage right now? In a few minutes. Okay. All right, we're getting close. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your applause and your laughter. That means so much to me. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you later.